Because you know people are involved, but they don't realize they're involved, nor do they realize how they're involved. And from my perspective, I saw who basically throughout the whole snapping off on everybody and everything about everything she possibly could concoct. So she starts out at the clinic with this goody two-shoes woman sitting next to her, and she decides to light up a cigarette. And God forbid the lady want her to blow the cigarette out. Mind you, the lady's about a good 8.5 months preggers. So she's like, fuck you, lady. My kid's gonna grow up and sell your kids drugs, and fuck you. So the lady keeps blowing her match out. So I'd have to say that was a very brave pregnant lady. But she snaps off on people throughout the whole. In the strip club, she jumps over the counter at a few of the patrons, jumps over the counter at the club owner, at the bouncer. The heroine we all love to love. You want everything to turn out hunky-dory for her. She was just spacing. I wasn't really feeling her. She became a secondary for me. That's just for me. A lot of you guys out there will just love her, and everything she touched turned to gold for you. Bless your heart. You will really, really, really dig it. And as fine as you thought she was, when you start seeing her little pelvic bones when she get to trying to grind and thrust and carry on, bless your heart, because you might just realize that she is the stick that we all knew she was in the first place. It was a good project. But I hated the way it ended. It was clear that you guys couldn't come up with a way to find closure and find all the separate stories that come together into one big story. Looks like you took a bunch of short stories and they stayed in and of themselves, and none of them got real closure. And that's the only problem I had with this. If you're going to look at something as one big, at least have some of the stories have closure. Not none of them, much less none of them come together to make one big story. But again, as you go step by step, it remains interesting throughout, but don't expect to come out of it with any closure.
Ain't no ride free here, boy.
Beer, how the fear you think my near K Deer is gonna give you a rear for free? Beer, are you crazy? Tell these here's what time it is. That
The
real.
hoes are a dime a dozen.
Don't go look for it on the internet because they spell it wrong. So I don't know how they expect you to go find it. And if you do go find it somehow and you go on a website during the credits to say, let me see at this website, you're not going to get nothing. Nothing going to come up. The website going to be under construction. You say, okay, well, who put this together? Oh, it's a theater company. Let's see what's going on with that. You won't find nothing. Bing can't help you. Google can't help you. MSN can't help you. And AOL can't help you. And guess what? Internet Explorer can't help you find everything. And that's a shame, because it sounds like I'm about to bash it. But I'm not going to do that. Lady, I really dug her. She was real cool. Okay, so anyway, it's a struggle for a brother. She told him that he needs to go to his boss and ask for a raise. He needs to go to the man and say, give a brother a raise. I've been here for, you think I'm going to say like 10, 20 years, right? I've been giving 5 years of my life to this company. I was like, 5 years? And then she demanded he go and ask for a raise. So you didn't give him no alternative for when he got fired? Because this was 1975, and this is a black man going to his boss demanding a raise, basically, or else, after 5 years of loyalty to this company. Okay, I know it sounds like I'm bashing it. What ends up happening is he concocts this scheme, and he pulls out one of his, the whole process of things, and this is something that probably happens a lot in the circles where people are doing underhanded things to get a little further in life. You know, and circumstances get caught up with people. People make mistakes. I don't condone or justify it. But in this particular case, they actually deal with what happens and what you have to confront and what you have to, the consequences that you have to be prepared to pay when these things unfold in front of you as a result of your actions. You need to pay your penance for your actions. So he gets 20 years, I believe it is. Again, I'm not going to go into the details of how I guess I still have to. I have to. In the end, when the dude comes out of jail, his daughter is unfamiliar to him, so she's standoffish. He don't understand. He thinks everything should just snap back like it was 20 years ago. He thinks everything's just copacetic. And it just might not be after 20 years. Like he think, oh, what's this little album? Oh, you mean a CD? They're not LPs no more, boo-boo. They're just not. So it's a lot of things that people have to deal with. And there are changes that happen, even though they have computers in prison. But there are some changes that happen while you're locked up that you have to confront coming out. And even though it's obvious, it reminds you that it's not an easy transition for people that have done time. Not to mention people that have done time unjustly for something they didn't do, because a lot of brothers get locked up. Check out the Innocence Project. A lot of brothers get unjustly locked up for things they didn't do. And you have to come out and start all over. But the bottom line is that I really appreciate the way this ended. It could have ended very violently. It could have ended, the dude could have snapped all over again, because Angela Davis told you in the 70s, and is telling you right now, that prison is not a rehabilitatory institution for alleged criminals, many of whom are not criminals going in. So once they come out, they have a whole different frame of mind and a survival technique that could land them right back in the same predicament. But in this particular case, this man found room to grow up and handle circumstances as they had come to be since he had been locked up. In terms of you needing to do the right thing, ultimately. It didn't end beautifully, but it ended as beautifully as it needed to for the circumstances at hand.